able to attend. All right, so welcome everyone to this virtual community meeting regarding the near Southside improvements round 6. My name is Justina Simon, and I am a project manager with the City of Fort Worth's Transportation and Public Works Department. Also present on this meeting are representatives from the Water Department and the design consultant to answer any questions. We also have Mike Brennan from near Southside Inc. Mike, did you want to say a few words?
Yes, Justina, I'll be brief because just looking at the participants list, I think we're very heavy on staff and project management, but we have a couple of folks here that I recognize Liz Mears, and I see David Corey. I don't think that I'm familiar with David, and maybe David, can I just ask if you can give me your affiliation and I can maybe tailor my remarks.
I am a resident at 1224 Lipscomb in near Southside, and I just was curious to see what the meeting was about.
Okay, gotcha. All right. And I know Liz is a property owner at the southwest corner of Daggett and Galveston. So my only remarks are to thank everybody for being here and for this coordination effort. Liz is very familiar with this street repair program, having seen the great example of coordination on Daggett right in front of her building, her existing building. So I just want to thank the city staff that really runs the show on this, particularly Mary Hannah, who's been the program manager from the beginning, working closely with Alex Sir from A&A Engineering. We're at a key point in this round. This is the 6th round of this street repair program that goes back to the bond election in 2014, with funding split at that time from City of Fort Worth bond program and the TIF 4 that we administer on behalf of the city. And at this point in round 6, we are in the final design phase. So what you'll hear about is the importance of coordination with property owners, businesses, stakeholders along these street segments. And we just want to make the next steps very smooth by coordinating on things like water and sewer connections and driveways and so forth. But since we have just a couple of folks here, I think we can probably streamline this. I know that Liz is very familiar, but we may get others. And anyway, let me pass back to you, Justine, and we'll keep it going.
Thanks, Mike. I also see we have Council Representative Anthony Rojas from Council District 9. Anthony, did you want to add anything?
I just wanted to echo Mike's comments. I appreciate everyone attending, and I appreciate TPW for putting this on. Please ask your questions. This is the time that you have all staff in a meeting to ask your questions or alleviate any concerns. And I'm going to go ahead and put our office's contact information in the chat. So if you have any issues with anything in our district, feel free to reach out to our office. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks, Anthony. All right. So during this presentation, I'll be giving you an overview of the project as a whole, providing a summary of the improvements on each street, and discussing the expected schedule moving forward. At the end, we'll open it up for questions and any community input. And again, if you think of any questions during the meeting, feel free to post them in the chat and we'll answer them at the end of the presentation. So this map shows an overview of the whole CD9 near Southside repair and reconstruction program to date. So rounds 1 through 4 are already complete. Round 5 is currently under construction, and round 6, which we are talking about today, is in design, as well as round 7 is in design. So these are just some program updates. So this is the streets that have been completed on round 5. They've already been, this is the one that's currently under construction. So these are just some updates from that. So there are 3 streets on this project. The first is South Henderson Street from West Terrell Avenue to Pennsylvania Avenue. The second is Galveston Avenue from West Broadway Avenue to West Vickery Boulevard. And the third is South Houston Street from West Daggett Avenue to West Vickery Boulevard. So on the next few slides, I'll discuss the existing conditions present on these streets and go into more detail about the scope of each one. So you can see here in these pictures similar conditions of deteriorated asphalt pavement at various locations along this project. We have from left to right Galveston Avenue, South Houston Street, and South Henderson Street. So you saw what those streets look like now, and so next I'm going to tell you what we're going to be doing to improve them. So on South Henderson Street, in the water and sewer improvements, we have an 8-inch sewer point repair, and then in the paving improvements, we are installing new asphalt pavement and repairing sections of damaged curb and gutter. We're also replacing damaged driveways and repairing damaged sidewalk. And we'll be connecting missing portions of the sidewalk and making some pedestrian improvements in the form of new ramps and push buttons at various intersections. So on Galveston Avenue from West Vickery to West Broadway Avenue, we're upgrading the existing 6-inch water to 8-inch. And in terms of paving improvements, we're installing new asphalt pavement and repairing damaged curb and gutter. We're replacing damaged driveways and repairing portions of the sidewalk, as well as connecting portions that are missing. So on South Houston Street from West Vickery to West Daggett Avenue, we are installing new concrete pavements. This one is concrete because there's an existing portion of concrete that we're connecting to, and we're repairing damaged curb and gutter. We'll also be replacing damaged driveways and connecting missing portions of the sidewalk. So after construction is complete, this is what you have to look forward to. Here we have some pictures of new concrete and asphalt street with new curb and gutter. These aren't going to be exactly what they look like. For example, that middle picture shows a 2-way left turn. We're not going to have any of those, but it's just to give you an idea of what the brand new streets are going to look like. And again, the asphalt will be on Henderson and Galveston, and the concrete will be on Houston. So this is some more pictures with new concrete driveways, new concrete sidewalks, and ramps, pedestrian ramps. So this slide shows the main milestones coming up for this project. We're expecting to receive 90% plans in June of this year. Then we plan to advertise in January 2026 after the construction on round 5 is completed. Construction should start around May 2026 and go until early 2027. And before construction starts, we'll have a pre-construction public meeting similar to this one, to talk more about what to expect around your neighborhood. And also similar to this meeting, you'll receive mailer cards with the date prior to the meeting. So if you want to stay updated on this project, you have a few options. You can use the first link on the slide, which will take you directly to the project webpage. This webpage will contain updated information throughout the course of the project, including the project map and the summary. And this link was just sent in the chat. If you lose access to that link, you can always go to the Fort Worth website, www.fortworthtexas.gov. And if you enter in the search bar 106012 in the search bar, it'll also take you to that project webpage. Just a quick plug, if you're not already using the My Fort Worth app, I want to bring your attention to it. It's a quick and easy way to report any issues to the city. It allows you to submit any concerns you have, and once you submit, it goes to the appropriate city work team, and you can view the status of the request on the app as well. So we'll go ahead and open up this meeting for any questions or comments. You can say them out loud or post them in the chat.
Is it possible to get more detail on the Henderson and Pennsylvania intersection, what that's going to look like after it's completed?
Hi, is there a specific issue you're looking to get information about, or just what it's going to look like?
Well, it's sort of a problematic intersection to get through in terms of the lane markings are hard for people to keep up with, I think, and so I just feel like it's a tough intersection. I was just wondering if there was anything in this project that was going to make it any smoother to transverse.
Is this in particular going south off of Pennsylvania onto Henderson or northbound?
Both directions. I see people not realizing they're 3 lanes and or which lane you turn out of, that sort of thing.
Okay,
If I can
yeah, go
add
ahead.
something, sorry. Uh, John, just so you know, TBW also produced a preliminary bond to the city council at work session not too long ago. I believe, and Mary can correct me if I'm wrong, I believe the intersection of Pennsylvania and Henderson is on the bond for streetlight reconfiguration and all that. Like I said, Mary, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I wanted to make sure you're aware that we are also looking at that intersection it, in terms of streetlights and such.
I'm opening the bond list, the recommended we just received, and because it will be under intersection, not neighborhood street. So I'm confirming that.
Mary, while you do that, this is Mike. I'll just chime in that I think that the concern, and I've seen this also, is that because there's a curve at the intersection, that sometimes it's not clear, where drivers should go to stay in the lanes that they're in, and then it changes from a 4-lane to a 3-lane at Terrell. And so maybe this project is an opportunity just to make sure that the markings are just looked at a little bit more closely to see if there are maybe there's some guide marks that could go into the intersection, and maybe some additional signage or more clear signage for that transition from 4 lanes to 3 lanes. David, is that sort of aligned with what you were thinking?
Yes, I
I
guess
just want to
so.
jump in real quick. We are proposing pavement markings. I can share my screen, kind of show you guys what it will look like.
Alex, are we changing from existing? I don't think we're changing from existing.
I believe it's shown
No,
to be matching existing.
We're matching existing, but we
So
are
I think the
proposing
question, so the question
restriping,
is,
which may.
if I'm understanding the question, I think the issue is how existing need to be changed. And Anthony is correct. It's proposed as a signal. My understanding, Anthony, it's under the signal, and the amount of money is included there to replace the existing signal, not to do any other intersection improvement. I can double check with the team, but I think they only replacing that existing signal. But I can confirm what other improvement, but I'm looking at the amount proposed, and it's signal upgrade, not intersection change. I think that's the difference, but I can confirm with transportation about that.
Well, I wonder if you could just have raised buttons, reflective buttons that mark the lanes so that if the paint wears off, you could still see where the lanes were supposed to go. And also in wet weather, you'd still know where the lanes were supposed to be. If you had just, those small reflective buttons that define the lanes.
Are we crossing the intersection, Alex, with our improvement?
No, we're not crossing Terrell. Basically, can you guys hear me? Yeah, we're not crossing Terrell. We're basically starting from Terrell.
No, Pennsylvania. We talk about Pennsylvania, right? Or Terrell? Essentially, talking about Henderson
I'm
and
confused.
Pennsylvania.
Okay. Yeah, we're not crossing Pennsylvania.
Okay. So okay, we'll contact our traffic team. They are the one who give us the comments where we need to stop. Maybe they doing as part of the bond the rest of the improvement. Like Anthony said, it's proposing the 2026 bond. That's why we are only stopping at one side of the intersection. But we can contact them and see, even with the bond, maybe we can improve that lanes. And if we put, I don't think they put buttons crossing the intersection because the cars from the other direction can go over them. I think, I don't know if they can plan it in a way it doesn't conflict with the other direction, but we'll talk to them and ask them if either improvement as part of our project or as part of their project. But I understand where you're coming from because you don't know where is how to turn, which lane to use, right? Coming from crossing Pennsylvania, right? That's the issue.
Yes, traffic both directions. It's been a problem
Yeah,
from my experience.
because it's not a straight intersection. The issue is the intersection have an angle in it. So Henderson doesn't continue straight. It continue like there is an angle and it's weird, like you coming out to which lane to go to. So I understand. I completely understand.
Thank you.
Mary, did you see the comments that Liz posted in the chat? She's not able to unmute her microphone, but she posted some important comments.
I can read them if needed. So the question is, how far in advance can we expect to receive closure notice? Because the Holly is, of course, on Galveston and Daggett. So this would be, when you say closure notice, I assume you mean like when construction is coming, correct? Okay. So the contractor will let all the affected businesses and residents know pretty well in advance that construction is about to happen on their street. So you should be getting notice as a from the contractor themselves in the form of a flyer, or maybe them even coming to talk to you to let you know that it's about to come within a week or so, to give you some time to know about when construction is going to happen. We'll also have a construction schedule from the contractor, giving us an indication of when approximately they're going to be there. So we'll know in advance before the contractor mobilizes to your street. Your follow-up that May 2026 to early 2027 is a long window. I agreed, and the contractor won't be there the entire time, but we will have a schedule from the contractor once we get one on board that'll give us a more defined timeline from when they're going to be there.
Greg, let me just chime in that there have been rounds where, for whatever reason, it made sense to direct the contractor early on to a certain order of streets, provided that order still worked from a mobilization standpoint. So couldn't we work with Liz and maybe if we hear from other businesses, maybe we hear from Harris and Trimble Tech about specific times of year that are going to be better for them. Couldn't we work with these businesses and institutions just to make sure that the order of streets is optimizing or minimizing disruption? Could we do that?
Yes, we can.
Okay. June to August, much better. Okay, all right. Well, we'll stay in touch, Liz, as we move forward and get a contractor on board and everything.
So
that
Mike,
rapid?
the only access is Galveston, or
No.
they?
So it's interesting. So the way that the Holly is set up, the access into the business is, if you walk in, it can be from Daggett, but the driveway is from Galveston. So their access to their garage, access for any vehicles is off of Galveston, and their outdoor patio is located along Galveston. So there's the access disruption, and there's just the construction debris, dust disruption. Yeah, so Liz is clarifying in the comments.
They are between that new development, right? And then I think aren't we replacing the water in Galveston, Alex, and Justina?
Yeah, we are.
Okay. Yeah, the only thing is we are replacing the water line there, and we have to make sure how to coordinate that with them.
That's the biggest
Okay.
thing, because that's, as we've seen, when the
Yeah,
utility work
because
is done, that takes longer, and sometimes it's done well in advance of the roadway work.
yeah, it has to be done before, and this is the street is so tight, so and there is parking for that apartment, so that's we need to make sure that there is enough space to keep the street open and or even one direction open. I'm sure we can accommodate the entrance to their driveway. Not going to be an issue. The issue is the rest of the traffic. Okay. Yeah, we'll have to put some notes, Alex and Greg, on the plans regarding that.
And the water replacement, that's just to upgrade an old pipe, right? Because when we do the street, if there's an old pipe underneath the street, it has to be upgraded.
Yes, we can. Yeah, we cannot replace the street without replacing the pipe. It's an old cast iron. No one wants that to be under the street. It will break. So it's better to replace it now.
Okay. Okay. Well, did we cover everything?
All right. If there are no more questions, then we can wrap it up. Thank you everyone for attending this meeting. My contact information is on the screen. Please reach out to me by phone or email if you have any follow-up questions or comments about this project. Thank you again and have a great evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.